What is the school to prison pipeline? Well, the school to prison pipeline is a system by which it pushes at-risk students out the classroom and into the juvenile criminal system. Those who are generally affected are those who are minorities and or low-income students. The problem is that schools create minor infractions such as the zero tolerance policy, which suspends or expels those students who make minor mistakes. For example, things like missing school or showing up late or even fighting may lead the kid to getting arrested. It creates a false illusion that things are actually changing, but in reality it is more devastating to those who are getting affected. It costs the state government more to send a child to a correctional facility rather than just keeping the child in school like they're supposed to. Black and Latino men get the short end of this stick as far as the phenomenon is concerned. It is not fair to those minorities who to be targeted and to get an unfair disadvantage in life.
So, where does the school to prison pipeline come from? Why does it exist? Well, there's no real reason or answer to that question, but here are some theories on how it all got started. Theory number one. Theory number one goes back to the for-profit prison system. It hasn't recognized that it costs less to house a minority inmate than it does a white inmate. The reason for this is age. The average white prisoner is significantly older than minority inmates. This means the health care costs are lower, costing the prison less money. Theory number two, over-policing. It's the idea that law enforcement will go hardened after having to respond to so many referrals of non-white students. The police will then start to see all non-white students as potential criminals, both on school campuses and on the streets. Theory number three. The third and most likely theory, however, is many low-income districts and communities lack the financial resources to implement alternative education programs and provide community intervention. According to the Sentencing Project, studies have found that intervention can have a tremendous effect.
I'm going to be talking about the 4 steps to cut off the school to prison pipeline. Eliminate zero tolerance. There are students like Blacks and Hispanics trying to defend themselves to wanting to get an education. Since there has been students being put into prison for not properly behaving in school, there are people wanting to eliminate that tolerance and actually let the students defend themselves so they can get an education. It's understandable if students bring weapons to school. Yeah, they can be put into jail for that. But if they do something like being late to class or not showing up at school, then that is not fair. Maybe those students had a good reason why they didn't show up. Personal, efficiency, and systematic. Teachers and school administrators are wanting to influence students to do well in school and bring back the positive school climate. This can actually help students challenge themselves to success and instead of challenging themselves to forcing to go to school. Community support. The connection between the vitality and of the community is stronger than the quality of school because the community is willing to go against the school to prison pipeline for students. This is including parents, teachers, clubs, and neighbors to support students in schools. The opposite group benefit indirectly from the school are law enforcement, businesses, and senior citizens. The final step is youth engagement. Students in different states have created a group called the Youth Voice to organize rallies and marches to draw attention to the school to prison pipeline. These students have their own stories to say of how they got excluded and what they feel about it. This program has helped eliminate zero tolerance of the pipeline policies. Thus, these students are helping schools resolve issues peacefully and productively.
You thought you were done here, huh? Well, no. You're gonna tackle this issue. How about you start by putting that phone of yours to use and bring awareness. Sacrifice time of yours and share this video on, or related ones on Facebook. Tweet to inform. Post so that others can share. Those are some extremely convenient ways for y'all to be activists. But if you're willing to go above and beyond, visit websites such as safecollegeschools.org, where an organization named the Advanced Project can inform you and guide you in helping your community implement safe schools, or as they would say, safe houses instead of jail houses. They will encourage you to advocate for school discipline reforms created by the community to set an example for others. So be engaged citizens and make change possible by spreading this injustice. Do it until it's buzzing in the ears of these officials who create these nonsense policies. In short, utilize the power of social media and the web to be informed and expose it to your community or ones in need of this empowerment. Although this mainly targets minorities, it definitely affects all views. Therefore, it affects the majority. Engage the youth, support your community, seek change, end this serial tolerance crap. Remember, empowerment is contagious.